Welcome to Business Talk here on businesstech.co.za. And if you're anything like me, you probably walked into a cash converters at some point in your life and you thought, I wonder if that vintage PlayStation or that camping fridge and that guitar are all from the same midlife crisis. But beyond the treasure trove of pre-loved goodies and unexpected bargains, Cash Converters has become a serious player in the franchising and the financial services game. They recently doubled down on digital. They've got a new web shop offering. And if you thought pre-loved or secondhand retail wasn't ready for the e-commerce age, then think again. I was on the web shop earlier today, and I found myself a really cool little camera that I might be picking up. Well, joining us to unpack how this 30-year-old brand keeps just finding new ways to stay young and hip and digitally savvy is Nicole Thomson, who's Group Franchise Sales and Marketing Director at Cash Converters South Africa. Nicole, great to chat to you again. And let's just kick off with the big picture. Cash Converters hit the big 3-0 last year, and in retail years, it's basically the equivalent of a diamond anniversary. What's been the secret sauce to staying relevant and profitable in such a fast-changing and very competitive consumer environment?
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Michael. Great to chat to you again. Yes, the big 3-0 was celebrated with a full-on diamond jubilee, so a superb milestone in our world. It's been critical for us to stay competitive and to keep up to date. As the market changes, we need to be able to respond to it, both from a business perspective and also as franchisor. We have a network of franchisees relying on us to keep the business on trend and mainstream as they continue to grow with us. In terms of the long term, the web shop has become an increasingly important play in our world, and we're seeing huge benefits coming through from it.
Now, obviously, it's important to evolve or you'll go the way of the dinosaurs, but why has it been so critical for Cash Converters to continually refresh and evolve its offering in a space where you have pretty much become one of the biggest players? And talk to me maybe a little bit more about how you've approached this evolution through the years.
The brand is a story of evolution. When we first arrived in the country in 1994, we were already 10 years old globally, and we brought in the bits of the brand and product offering that made sense at that time. So we started off as retailers, and we only grew into money lenders with the advent of the National Credit Act. Again, highlighting our ability to stay in step with both regulatory and legislative requirements, as well as what the customers of the time demand. Really, really important to keep doing that as we look to the next 30 years ahead of us.
And I don't think people automatically, when they think of going to get something that's been pre-owned, think about e-commerce or web shops. They think, oh, well, I've got to go in store. I've got to physically go and have a look and see if I can find something. So I think the web shop is really innovative in terms of that evolution. What were the market signals or the customer behavior shifts that prompted you to launch a digital storefront? And how has it gone so far?
I would love to tell you it was brilliant planning and management, but it was really a COVID baby. We realized in that initial lockdown period that we were going to be closed for a lot longer than we'd initially been promised from government regulations. You remember back to that period, it was initially a 5-week shutdown. Our stores couldn't trade at that point in time, and we needed to be able to generate some sort of income to keep the businesses moving as they went. Both for the franchise owners and as franchisor. If the stores don't trade, we're obviously not earning any of our royalties on the other side. So we threw the web shop together with lots of hope and prayer and sticky tape, and we were astounded at how quickly it took off from the beginning, and the growth just continues to amaze me. Last year, we were at around 5% of retail turnover. We are already on track to double that to approximately 10% for the balance of this year. The debate had raged in terms of, do we want to be an e-tailer or are we bricks and mortar only? Post the now successful launch of the web shop, it was abundantly clear that it was the right time and the right product offering, both for us as a brand and our franchisees as a business. We continue to innovate on the platform. We're looking at implementing auctions and purely from a web shop perspective, just to continue to improve the customer experience. We are fully integrated for payments and courier, but there's lots, as always, that we can do to remain competitive in that very demanding environment.
Yeah, but as I said earlier, before this interview, I was on the web shop just having a look for what I could find that would interest me. And I'm a bit of a hobbyist photographer, and I saw a great range of cameras. And the beauty is, I mean, if you just walk into a brick and mortar Cash Converters, that's the range, what's on the shelf. if you go into the web shop, it links through to all of the stores, and you as a user, you get to have that expanded range. What are the benefits, the tangible benefits of this for your store owners that you see?
You've nailed it. When I look at the market research that we continuously do from a brand perspective, I can see very clearly a new consumer group emerging in the webshop customer. So the new eyeballs that are coming to the brand are an incredible bonus for us. I hear anecdotes from the stores all the time that a customer will walk in through the front door and say, I've never been into a store before, but I was searching for something online. Your listing came up and I'd like to come and have a look and see what else you've got. So we estimate that for every 2 sales that are done on the web shop, we've probably doubled that in terms of the bricks and mortar environments. It also helps the franchisees in more of the outlying areas to have presence across the entire country. And the converse to that is no matter where you are in the country, as you so correctly identify, we don't have lots of depth of content. We've got breadth. So that one camera that you may well be looking for could be located down in KZN. You wouldn't know about that being based in a different environment, but that web shop opens that up beautifully for a whole range of new customers to come in.
And if I order the product, get it, and I feel maybe it's not exactly what I was looking for, do you offer full retail fulfillment in terms of the back end as well if I want to return it?
Absolutely. All our products come with a 6-month warranty, which will honor both the bricks and mortar and the e-environment. If the product is not what you were looking for, what you'd hope to purchase, you simply return it back to us. We'll credit it back, or the rand value back to you, and put the item on floor to sell on to someone else. We're fully integrated from a shipping and payments perspective, both with suppliers and into our point of sale device. So it really is a seamless customer experience. We aim to turn things around within 48 hours in the unfortunate but not very regular event of a refund. And again, just trying to honor that pre-loved is not second best, and this really is a viable shopping opportunity for you as a consumer. The beauty of the competitive nature of the environment is that we rank with all the other e-tailers if you're looking for something online in terms of Google and Facebook listings. So we really are, from a brand credibility perspective, appearing really nicely compared to the rest of the market.
Yeah, I mean, my daughter thought she was going to be the next Vanessa May, and she lasted all of 3 months with the new violin that I bought her. So now I'm sitting with a basically brand new violin, and it's a perfect place to go and list it, because I'm sure there are undoubtedly going to be other young fingers out there who want to pick up the violin and try it. Just a caution to any aspiring violinists out there or parents of violinists. It's really, really hard. Get them to start something easier first. Let's just put some faces to the data. Can you share any inspiring or maybe surprising stories that show how the web shop has had real world impacts since you launched during COVID?
Absolutely. I think the biggest takeout that's come out from the franchise network is the franchisees saying that it just changes the tone of the day when they open the front doors of their store and they've already done some retail trade. It takes the pressure off that bricks and mortar environment. It starts the staff off with a spring in their step because they've got orders to fulfill already. It's a really positive note to start the day. And as the month cycles through, people having money post payday to moving into that environment when they're a little bit more hesitant to shop, this is just a really cool beat to start the day for the stores. We also have many stories of some of our sites that are maybe not in the most high foot traffic areas. The web shop again opens up a whole different environment to these stores. One of my stores that is in a really destination environment, it's next to a hardware store and a takeaway joint, and that's it in its little precinct. That does an excess of 150,000 Rand a month in terms of turnover on this platform. That's an absolute game changer for a store that's already doing well to add another revenue stream into it. So I think that speaks to the sustainability of the model, sort of at a more macro level. But just in the day-to-day, the franchisees are really seeing the benefits of this coming in.
And I know franchisees are the lifeblood of your brand. So how does that work for the franchisee? Do you as the franchisor control the front end and the maintenance and all of that? And what do the franchisees have to do in terms of listing their inventory on the main Cash Converters web shop?
All of the development and control of that web shop sits in the head office's purview. Again, as franchisees, we want our franchisees to be doing the business all the time and focusing on running them, not running extra maintenance and admin. So when we launched this web shop, it was really important to us to be able to add benefit without adding additional admin to the franchisees day to day. So we run the platform from our end. We're integrated with a courier partner as well as with a payment provider. The franchisees literally tick a button on the point of sale backend that they work with from a cash converters perspective. We have the opportunity to take better pictures and to load more pictures relating to a stock content item. And that all seamlessly then pulls together to show the front end that you've been browsing online. So as little mess as possible for the franchisees and really just another income stream.
It was so interesting. I was chatting to the chairman of FASA recently. The new chairman. He's very young. He's very dynamic. He's very passionate about the future of franchises. I think it was World Franchising Day. And he shared with me just a remarkable stat about franchising, and the failure rates almost flipped on their head versus starting a business from scratch. I think, we know that within 2 years, 90% of new businesses fail. On the franchise side, it's the other way around. You have a 90% success rate. But within that, what makes cash converters an especially appealing option for entrepreneurs looking to own a franchise today?
So you're correct. Aya is such a lovely human, completely dynamic, and so refreshing into that FASA environment. We're really delighted to work with him. He is 100% correct. The failure rate is completely inverted. I think that speaks to the strength of a franchise model. It really is a recipe that all you need to do is simply follow to gain the desired outcome. The better the support structure offered from the franchisor, the better the outcome for everyone, both franchisee and franchisor. From a cash converters perspective, we've got 40 years of global activity to prove that track record. And as we discussed earlier, 30 years locally, 31 years this year. The multiple revenue streams that you touched on in the beginning of the intro is really important to us as a brand. So we are cyclical through the weeks of the month as opposed to the months of the year in terms of our product sets are complementary to each other and work hand in hand according to the cycles of the consumer's pocket during the course of the month. That gives you a lot of stability coming through. You're not waiting for a payday weekend knowing that you've got a little bit of a downturn over the next couple of weeks because you've got the money lending business to prop that up and keep the equilibrium through the brand. The brand recognition, trust, and credibility is so important to us. We work on it constantly and continuously. We've spent 30 years building up the image of cash converters as a professional, slick, well shop-fitted environment with staff who are knowledgeable and able to assist you. It's not the image that you may have of secondhand or grotty money lenders, and that continues to be something we drive really hard. Again, something that those eyeballs coming into the web shop and then translating into stores in bricks and mortar stores is so important to us. It just lets more and more people know about this brand and what it is. Our training is really important. We offer comprehensive and ongoing training very intensively in the beginning of your journey with us as a brand and tailored according to the life cycle of the franchise business over the 10, 20, 30 years of franchise terms that we hope our franchisees will be with us. And as I summed up, that franchise model and following that recipe really reduces any of the risks associated with going into business. It's the perfect marriage for someone who wants to row their own canoe and run their own business, but within the guardrails and that sandpit of a franchise operation.
It's incredible just when I think about the evolution of the cash converters brand within that whole franchising story, because you've gone and you mentioned it, that old version that a lot of people have of pawn shops and they didn't want to go near them, to a platform. I mean, you really are a fully integrated platform now. Are there any exciting innovations or new services coming down the pipeline that you can share, given that you now do, money lending, you platform, you e-tailing, you brick and mortar? Maybe you could just give us a hint or a sneak peek if you're working on something else.
Absolutely. Some very exciting evolutions coming to the brand this year. We're in the final throes of testing prior to the rollout phase of an updated unsecured money lending product. This really is best in class across the landscape. We're incredibly excited to launch it into the network. It's an update to an existing products, but we see huge benefit coming in both for our customers, old and new, as well as our franchise operators in the stores. We're also looking at, we're calling them trading products, and that really is just another way that we're looking to enhance our basket of options to our customers. At our core and our heart, we're all about access to cash now, and the introduction of this new product set of these 3 different training products into the network really just gives consumers more variety, and another way for them to solve a cash flow challenge that they may have at that moment in time. And then really excitingly, after 31 years of trade, we're looking to really grow the franchise network. We've opened 4 new stores this year. We've got 2 more in the pipeline and another 2 coming thereafter. We'd love to add more franchisees into this brand as we enter the next decade.
Yeah, well, it's a good news story. I think from clicks to bricks and everything in between, it's clear that you're not just selling secondhand goods, you're offering first-rate opportunities in an economy that, let's face it, Nicole, could use a few more good news stories. So a big thanks to you, Nicole Thomson, for showing us how a 30-year-old brand could still teach the young disruptors a thing or two about staying relevant. Take care.
Thank you so much.